All right, so today we're going to talk about the TSA. The TSA, what does that stand for, Zach?
The
Uh-huh.
the Texas
Nope.
super awesome
Nope.
company,
Nope.
right?
That's that organization. That's that entity, that government agency that actually governs, transportation. It's called the Transportation Secretary Administration.
Oh, the one that gropes me.
Yes.
Yeah, the
The-
one that puts their hands all over me, just the back of their hands.
That's right. Just the back, all in your stuff. That's right. So we're going to talk about TSA because guess what? A large number of people are actually mistakenly taking guns through security at the airport.
Even employees.
Even employees, a large amount of people, like quite a bit actually.
Oops.
Yeah. So the Transportation Security Administration confiscated a record number of guns at checkpoints in 2022, most of which were loaded. As the agency has increased the maximum fine for firearm violations, TSA said it has recovered 6,301 firearms from airport security checkpoints so far this year as of Friday. That's 6,301 as of Friday. So guess what's coming up next? Christmas,
Yeah.
Hanukkah.
Big travel
Yeah.
season.
Yeah,
Wasn't the old maximum fine $10,500?
it was like 13,000.
13,000. What is it now?
So they're raising that fine to $14,950. That's right, $14,950.
And you said that there were 6,000 people that did that at ABIA airport or all airports?
This is all airports.
Oh,
all of
all
them.
airports in the United
Not
States.
just Austin Burston. That's
Oh,
right. So
okay.
we're talking about the entire country. So 6,301 firearms have been confiscated as of this year so far, and that surpasses the previous record of 5,972 firearms detected in 2021. So we haven't even hit Christmas. So as soon as we hit Christmas, that number is going to go up quite a bit as well. So it's, we've already exceeded that number. So they're raising the fine. They're saying, hey, you know what? We're tired of this. We're tired of people, mistakenly, accidentally taking firearms through security. You should already know there's a huge sign there, several signs that tell you no weapons are allowed through security.
Yeah, in 2020, there were 49 firearms violations at Austin Bergstrom. 2021, there were 110. And 2022, as of August 22nd, there were 100.
Wow. And that's just August. So that means
Mhm.
that's why I've always said that Austin Bergstrom Airport is the worst airport in the entire country where people forget and take their guns to security.
Even employees.
even employees. And speaking of employees, man, who is that? Yes, someone did that just recently at the Austin Bergstrom Airport.
Yeah.
And just mistakenly took their gun through security. An employee. You would think you as an employee should know this, but people make those mistakes. And that's the number one reason people have to take a firearm safety course from us.
Because they bring a gun to the airport?
Yeah, mistakenly take a gun to the airport is the number one reason. I've had all types of people. I've had an executive, a CEO of a company. I've actually had a pastor of a church. I've had an attorney. Quite a few people, actually forget and take their guns through security at the airport. So,
Yeah, there was a airport employee, 23-year-old Angelina Ortiz,
Oh,
allegedly brought a gun in her purse. She forgot that the gun was in her purse.
mm,
And in her purse, she had a anxiety drug and a gun with 13 rounds in the mag.
Yeah, and they say most of these guns that they actually find going through security are actually loaded.
Mhm.
Loaded.
I mean, what are you going to do with an empty gun?
That's true.
Throw it at someone?
Yeah, well,
Whip them with it?
Harvey Lee, what are we gonna do with an empty gun?
Load it.
That's pretty useless right there. When I was reading that story, I was like, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. I actually used to work at an airport in my background. I'm not gonna
Nice.
say which one. And
They make
might
that.
have allegedly accidentally brought, a couple of rounds with me, not in a clip, thankfully, but they let me go. Nothing,
Right, in
no,
a
no problem,
magazine.
no problem at all. But in a magazine, that's a big deal to them.
Yeah.
But if you keep reading that story, there was like a couple of different substances she had.
Cocaine also, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you kind of started digging yourself a hole as you continued reading and seeing, wow, how much did she have on her? And you'd be surprised what you could get through security. I mean, like TSA has Well, 4 years
well,
ago,
in her
they had a
defense,
terrible success rate.
she was impaired
Defense.
Mentally?
with the other drugs that she had in her purse.
Oh.
In her
In
defense.
their defense. Going to work.
in her defense.
You were under the influence. It sounds
She was
like a
under the
great defense.
influence, you know? She's like, look, I was a little high. My bad.
My bad.
My bad. You know, well, you know what? We have a law in Texas. So if you're in Texas, you know, because we had an elected official actually make a mistake and do this, you know, totally forgot, you know, went through security, took his gun through security, and they popped him. They say, look, sir, you have a gun in your bag. Ha, this is a felony. He said, oh, my goodness, I'm an elected official. You know, I work at the Capitol. He said, you know, I write these laws. I have a license to carry a handgun. I know better than this. And so he said, you know, we need to change the law. So you know what they did? They changed the law. So
Come on, man.
That's right. So in Texas now, if you get your license to carry a handgun, this is going to be one of those benefits. You get your license and you totally forget and you go to the airport, which a lot of people are doing this, and you have a gun in your bag. You go through security. You can say, oopsie, my bad. I have a license to carry a handgun. They will walk you to your vehicle and let you lock the gun up in your vehicle. You know, there's no criminal charges.
Based.
That's right.
Oh,
But if-
it's only based
If you have a
because
license.
well, because of one thing that happened
Oh,
a
yeah,
few years
right.
ago,
right.
which
Elected
I
official.
mean,
Well, of
yeah,
course. You know, the precious politicians.
don't get me started.
You have precious
Right.
politicians, right? I mean, you know, of course you have to make an exception for them. So if something happens to them, you got to make a law.
Yeah, then you
You
change
know,
the law.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but hey, you know, you get your LTC, you happen to do that. It's a little bit of a. It's not bad. That's not a bad little.
It's just
gig
going to be a
there.
fine. So you're looking at a fine that could be up to now, because they're raising that limit, it could be up to $14,950.
Damn, that doesn't sound.
Ooh, 15 grand.
Woo, 15 grand for making that mistake. No
I like
criminal.
how they don't bring it all the way up to 15 grand, but it's 14,950.
14,950. Because you couldn't afford the 50.
Yeah.
That's right. We couldn't make it to 15 because that's a little too much. That tilts, you know, a little too much.
Now, that's the maximum fine, right?
That's the
Or is that just the?
that's the maximum
the
fine.
fine?
That's the maximum. So they can do.
How do they determine that? Judge discretion? Or
You
what?
know, that's a good point. I don't know, because they can do 1,000 if they want to. They can do 2 grand. They can do 3 grand. They can do 14,000. They can do 14,900, 14,950. So we come back from the break. We got to talk about Amazon, an armed Amazon worker. We're going to go to Chicago. Going to talk about Breonna Taylor. Going to talk about Oregon. We got a lot to talk about. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.